Good afternoon and welcome to Nutmeg Sports here on the HAN Network. Frank Granito joined with Kevin Coleman in the studio today as we continue to cover the CIAC state tournaments. Kevin, big win last night for the Danbury Hatters.
Wow. They're continuing their great run. They beat Trumbull 4-2, and look at that, they beat Shelton 4-2. So congratulations to the Hatters, well deserved, and it's their first trip to the state final since 1998.
Should be a lot of fun. Our own Mike Suppy was at the game last night when Danbury took down Shelton. Let's welcome Mike in now. Mike, how are you doing this afternoon? Mike, can you hear me? It appears we have lost Mike Suppy there, Kevin. We'll see if we can get him back on. But let's go through last night's game. It was a 4-2 win for the Hatters. They got 2 goals from Kaiki Nascimento, 1 from Kevin Spinato, and of course Shelton scored an own goal off a Danbury corner. It's so much emphasis, especially for myself, has been put on the ability of goaltenders and having that strong back line. The Hatters are doing it with offense in the state playoffs, though.
They are, and you mentioned Kevin Spinato, but Kaiki Nascimento, how many times have we seen him this season, come up with that big goal, whether it was during the regular season, the FCI playoffs, and now in the state tournament. It's amazing how, he's been coming up with so many great opportunities here. He makes chances happen. He scored in the state FCX semifinals, against Trumbull. He just has a big presence up front. But not only him, it's Mullen Theo. When you have a hot goaltender like that, no matter what tournament you're in, you're going to go far. And he made some unbelievable saves, Frank, yesterday. This is the reason why they're going to that final. It's because of Mullen Theo. And
we do have Mike Suppy back with us now. Mike, how are you doing this afternoon? Thanks for coming on.
Good to be here, fellas. It was a great game last night for sure.
Well, tell us a little more about it, because we were just saying how this Danbury offense right now is flying with the best of them, averaging almost 4 goals a game. They continue to strike, and they're doing so quickly. 3 goals in that second half yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, they play the more the game is fractured, it seems like, and more wide open, it seems that Danbury thrives in that kind of setting. They like to play a wide open, back-and-forth style game.
And we've lost Mike again there. Kevin, this will be the first time, as you said, Danbury reaches the state final since 1998. In 2014, in the state semis, they played against Farmington. That is who they will be matched up again, and this is a very talented Indians team right now.
This is a very good Indians team. You mentioned how they played against each other in the 2014 state semis. It was a great game. Ended up Farmington got the result with a minute left in double overtime. They scored a late winner. It was a great game. And you know what, Frank? I'm expecting the same type of game we're going to see Saturday. Obviously, the game is not determined where it's going to be yet, but still, the atmosphere is going to be a lot of fun. These players are up and at it. They're ready to go. It's going to be a well-fought match. And you talk about 2 teams well-deserving to get in this tournament. This is an 11-seed Danbury Hatters team, well-deserving to be in this. They were the better team. And you talk about Trumbull and Greenwich, getting knocked out in the they made it to the quarters and the semis, but they got knocked out. And these are 2 great teams, 2 great soccer programs, and you got to tip your cap to head coach Anthony Howard for the Hatters. He's done a remarkable job in his first season with these Hatters.
For Farmington, it was a 3-0 win over Fairfield Prep. The sophomore twin brothers, Nate and Brennan Hughes, leading the attack. Nate with 2 goals, Brennan adding an assist. Something to keep an eye on. Their starting goalie, Jordan Sicklick, had 4 saves heading into about the 60th minute of the match. Then separated his shoulder, diving to make a save. They had to bring in the backup, Jeff Seitalik. Seitalik made 2 saves, Kevin, but you lose your starting goaltender. Unlikely he's coming back for this championship game. How does the Indians back line now make the adjustments to protect their backup goalie against this high-flying Danbury offense?
They have to come up huge. They come into this game, now they have three days to get ready, 3 days of training. Obviously, I think today they're going to have a little bit of a light day, but expect tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday to really be some good days, good afternoons of training, get ready for the state final. They're going to get their legs well rested today, get some treatment. Thursday, Friday, good training in, and it's going to be, I think it's going to give enough time for the backup goalie to really get ready and get set for this final. He's a great keeper, and it's unfortunate. Injuries happen, and they can happen in the worst way, in the worst time, and it comes at a tough time. But they're going to the final, and anything can happen. This is an 80-minute game, maybe even plus some more minutes where he's going to come up with some big saves. And obviously, we talked about Mullen Theo. He's come up huge. Expect to see him continue his streak. And for teams that have won the States in past years, we've seen it's been the goalie that really has kept their team in it. You go back to, I remember the Richfield Tigers team that won it in 2007. Sean Saponis, a sophomore. He was starting, and he saved them in the quarterfinals and the semifinals in PKs, and they went to the final and beat Glastonbury in a classic, and he made some unbelievable saves. Hearing about this game last night, Mullen Theo made some unbelievable diving saves. There was a breakaway, he saved it. So it's really, Mullen Theo has brought them to this final, and he's been standing on top of his head. So I will like to see, you expect to see him continue that form.
I think that Danbury in net, they'll be fine. Offensively, we expect them to score their goals. For that back line, they've got to defend the Hughes brothers, 6'2" sophomores. These are specimen types of athletes here. You don't see these come around very often. What can that Danbury back line do to contain the Indians' attack?
Well, I really like their left back, Tyler Warren, and we've seen him a bunch, number 14 for the Hatters. He's great on that left side. It's important for these center backs to really stay still and not press too forward and get too flat. This is a good Farmington team that will spread the ball and play through balls that will try and stretch the back four that could really cause problems for the Hatters. So these next 2 or 3 days of training, I think you're going to expect Coach Howard to really emphasize to play your game. Play a strong back four. Don't give up anything easy. Clear the ball if you have to, but know that you have Mullen Theo in the back of the net who has really come up with some amazing saves. But yeah, this back four, I've really been impressed. You talk about a lot of injuries with this Danbury Hatters team and a lot of graduates from last year, a good team last year. And again, this back four coming up huge in these critical games.
This being the first time Danbury has reached the state championship since 1998. They've got a first-year coach in Anthony Howard. Farmington is an 11-time state champion. How big will that experience level, the veteran presence that you'll see on that Indians team play in this matchup? It's
going to be huge, and we expect there's going to be guys from that 2014 team that went to the state final. You expect the experience to be there for Farmington. They've been there, like you said, they're looking for their 12th state title. I mean, it's just this past decade they've been a fantastic soccer program, and I will expect to see a great, well-fought game from these Indians. They're a team that knows how to play. They're a fast team, but just like Danbury, they're a fast team as well. They can defend. I would like to go to this game on Saturday. I'm still waiting to see where it is. I would like to attend because these two teams are fantastic. Farmington, a great program. Danbury, again, another great program. These are two well-deserved teams that deserve to be in this final.
And again, the location and time yet to be determined, but that championship game will be played on Saturday, November 19th. So congratulations again to the Danbury Hatters. We hope that we will have Coach Anthony Howard joining us tomorrow on the show. Let's take a quick break, Kevin. When we get back, we're going to look over at girls soccer. We've got 3 teams still in action in that tournament, and at the volleyball tournament that will also be going on. All of that coming up next on the HAN Network.
At Hoyt Livery, our goal is to always... Sam, what are you doing? We're filming a commercial.
I'm checking out the new Hoyt on the Go app. Hoyt's here!
This is now 44 years I've been in this business. Digital came along. After I was in business for about 6 years, I had to totally reinvent the business. So I had to make a tremendous investment in my business. And Milford Bank was there for me. I don't really just consider Milford Bank a bank. I consider them a trusted partner in my business. My name is Jim Wilson, owner of Milford Photo. I choose to bank with Milford Bank.
In Sports Trumbull, the game is always on inside. Recently renovated and home to one of Connecticut's largest indoor turf fields, In Sports is a multi-sport recreation center providing state-of-the-art facilities for league play, camps, and youth programs. Sign up now for In Sports Passing and Receiving Positional November Soccer Clinic, scheduled for November 19th. Sessions are available for U13 to U14, U15 to U16, and U17 to U19. Featuring college coaches from around the region, this is your official home of Connecticut's Olympic Development Soccer Program. For more information, visit insportcenters.com.
Hi, this is Leo Carl from Carl Chevrolet in New Canaan, and you've heard me talk about the Chevy Volt for years. The new model gets 53 miles on EV charge daily, plus 420-mile full range. But don't take my word for it. You need to come in and test drive the Volt yourself. Visit us at 261 Elm Street in New Canaan or online at carldirect.com.
If you're watching this broadcast, you're not alone. The HAN network is available for 200,000 Connecticut cable customers on the Frontier Network. And we've also reached 1.7 million viewers on our free live streaming sports, news, and entertainment broadcasts. To reach our rapidly growing audience, contact Advertising Director Jessica Murrin at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
Welcome back to Nutmeg Sports here on the HAN Network. Frank Granito and Kevin Coleman as we go back to the phones now. And we are joined by the sports editor of the Ridgefield Press, that is Tim Murphy. Tim, thanks for coming on with us. How are you this afternoon?
No problem. Hi, guys. How you doing?
Good. Tim, let's start with Friday night last week. You were with us down at Tiger Hollow to see the Ridgefield Tigers and the Greenwich Cardinals square off. A big win for the Tigers. They really have set themselves up for success moving forward. What did you think, especially of Drew Fowler, who has clearly solidified himself as the starting quarterback again?
Yeah, I mean he's missed 4 games, kind of come back, hasn't missed a beat. Had a few picks, but bounces back, and it was really impressive. The thing to me was when Greenwich, the game was tied, and then Richfield had a couple of turnovers, and Richfield was able to hold Greenwich on 4th downs, and the defense really came up big and helped them get back, keep the margin pretty close, and then they were able to come back and go ahead at the half.
Murph, they've really set themselves up for success now with States. They've got Danbury on Thanksgiving, who we expect the Tigers to be able to take care of. Where does Ridgefield stack up compared to the rest of the Class XL field in your eyes right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think they should beat Danbury. That would clinch the spot for them. And then if they're the 6th seed, they'd probably play Southington, which would be a challenge. I think that Class AA, you've got those top 3. Maybe just a cut above everybody, West Haven and Southington and, of course, Darien. So, but, Richfield, I think they're getting better. The defense has certainly improved as the season's gone on. At the beginning of the year, they were giving up a lot of points. So, I think they're a more balanced, more of a fuller team. And with Shane Palmer, a running back, that's really added another dimension for them.
Hey, Murph, switching things over to girls soccer here. These girls Tigers, this team is playing incredible right now in the state tournament, obviously FCI champions. How do they match up in this semifinal against Suffield?
Yeah, this is a wild card. Suffield was the team that was placed in L at first and, then got moved up to double L and delayed the start of the tournament. They're unbeaten. Their regular season schedule is not as demanding as Richfield's, but they did beat Fairfield Ward. I mean, they lost in the state finals last year to St. Joseph in Class M 2-0. So they are a proven program. I think it's going to be a battle, and you don't want Richfield looking ahead to re-meeting with Glastonbury in the finals.
We were talking about yesterday, Murph, how Grace Franklin is quietly going about her business, arguably the most unsung hero of CIAC this season. What can you say about her play and what she's meant to this team behind the play of Jasminski, Damron, Bonanno, and all these other big names?
Yeah, bend it like Franklin's going to be the new catchphrase here, because she's deadly on those free kicks. I mean, really, we've seen it last year and this year. It's just such an added weapon. She's kind of a defensive midfielder, but any of those free kicks, 30 yards, 35 yards and in, she can really take a go at goal.
You mentioned Franklin. Talk about Julia Middlebrooks and how good she's been and what she's meant to this Tigers team.
Julia Middlebrook, we got to leave off that last S for savings at the end there. She is, great. I mean, she's a real vocal leader. 4-year starter. She really organizes things. You can hear her giving commands, and really a good vocal leader out there.
What does this back four for the Tigers need to do in this game against this high-powered Suffield offense?
I just do what they do. The center backs really cut passes off. The fullbacks are great at tracking back and dispossessing people. So, I think it's just going to be business as usual. I mean, they've been doing this for a couple of years. I don't think they're going to be phased today by Suffield.
Now, Murph, the Ridgefield Tigers have also got the volleyball girls playing tonight. They are going to play against Greenwich. Tell us a little about that matchup that a lot of people anticipated would be the FCX championship before both teams fell in the semifinals.
Right, and Richard, and this could be history-making. They've never been to the state finals in volleyball, so that would be quite an accomplishment for them. And it should be a good one. Greenwich beat them 3-0 during the season. Greenwich has such a good defense that I think Richfield got frustrated, so they'll have to kind of avoid that again today. But and Stanford on the other side of the bracket's playing really well too, so I would assume they'd probably beat Amity.
Yeah, we saw that Stanford team struggle in round one against Staples. We thought maybe that was a little bit of that FCX championship hangover, but I think that Ridgefield-Greenwich match at the start of the year was really the turning point for the Tigers. That being, they lose that game 3-0, but turned it around after that. Were so dominant for the majority of the season. I think it's the big names of Ridgefield tonight that proved to be the difference. I actually like the Tigers over the Cardinals in that match. Yeah, I mean, I can see it. I mean, Ridgefield's definitely got a lot more firepower at the net with Colonel and Elizabeth Middlebrook, another Middlebrook. Great hitters, and Katie Linnigan, a really good setter. So, yeah, I mean, as long as they don't get frustrated by Greenwich, I think, they could be in good shape. And you're right, they lost that match to Greenwich, and then the next match they were on the road against McMahon, who was unbeaten, and Ridgefield beat him 3-1. So that was really a key turning point, like you said. One more thing here, Murph, before we let you go quickly. St. Joe's still alive in Class L for the girls' soccer tournament. They've got all the players on their roster back now from suspension. Is there anyone in that class that can keep up with the cadets, do you think?
No, I don't think. I mean, with Suffield out of there, I don't see it. But they've had a few one close game, I believe. So you never know. But they've been a pretty good team.
They struggled a little bit in that first round game with the players suspended, but come back with a 4-0 win in the quarterfinals. They draw Daniel Hand in the semifinals tonight. Murph, we'll let you get out of here. Enjoy the game tonight. Best of luck to the Tigers, and as always, thanks for being on with us.
Oh, no problem. A pleasure.
Let's take one more break here, Kevin. When we get back, we've got another editor to join us. We got to look at the field hockey CIC tournament, and we've got some Pop Warner football news to break right here out of Trumbull. All that coming up on the HAN Network.
1, 2, 3, Abby! I want to find out how good I am. Yes, sir! If you relax, you get blown out. Let's get it done! Let's get it done!
What can you take advantage of right now?
Again, come on. I can push myself way beyond what you think.
Pressure technique. Bring it back.
Connecticut is coming back to hometown banking. To a partner that makes small businesses feel big. Where community comes first. Where high-tech tools go hand in hand with a human touch. Where you get the know-how only neighbors can deliver. Where saving time is important too. It's time to expect more. It's time to bank well. Bank smart. Bank local. Bank well.
Have a sports injury or a slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast, without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, open Monday through Saturday, now in 2 locations. The iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk and 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien. Or go to coastalorthoexpress.com, like them on Facebook.
For unique and special holiday gifts, come to Touch of Sedona, a spiritual boutique located in the heart of Ridgefield, Connecticut. We have plenty of unique pieces, including Native American and equestrian jewelry, crystals, candles, incense, and books, as well as an ever-changing showcase of artists, intuitive practitioners, healers, and lots more. Happy holidays from Touch of Sedona, 452 Main Street in Ridgefield. Visit us today. Open 7 days a week.
As you're getting back to your regular schedules, we're excited to get back to doing what we do best, offering you the freshest seasonal fare and all the ingredients for a healthy start to school. So shop Walter Stewart's for everything fresh, from A, apples to Z, zucchini, and from cotton candy grapes to back to nature all-natural snack bags. We save you time by stocking all of your favorite back-to-school essentials under one roof. Walter Stewart's Market, 229 Elm Street, or shop online at stewartsmarket.com.
Give your day a jumpstart with the latest news, sports, weather, and more on Coffee Break, live on the HAN Network, weekdays at 11 a.m. Connecticut news doesn't get any more local than on Coffee Break.
Back on Nutmeg Sports here on the HAN Network. Frank Granito and Kevin Coleman. We have been cruising through state tournaments here, Kevin. Let's keep up the trend. We'll go to field hockey now, and for field hockey, we bring in New Canaan Advertiser sports editor Dave Stewart. Dave, thanks for coming on with us. How are you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing all right, getting ready for a big game tonight, but how are you guys doing today?
Good, can't complain. We'll get to that big game you've got up in Trumbull. That's New Canaan in Class M. Let's start with Class L, though. We've got two FCAC teams remaining. Number 4, Darien draws unbeaten Glastonbury, and one of the recurring themes from throughout this state for this state season has been how dominant Glastonbury has been. How do the Waves stack up against Glastonbury, Dave?
I think it's going to be a tough one. This isn't. A lot of times people look at the FCAC in these tournaments, especially in field sports like field hockey and lacrosse, and think they're going to walk over everybody. And I think in these semifinals, what you're going to see is that these teams can keep up with the FCAC teams. Glastonbury's 18-0 and they scored 60 goals and allowed only 6 all year. So I mean, this is not a pushover by any means for Darien. So that Glastonbury team is going to be a really tough call for Darien. The Waves did beat a good Cheshire team in the quarterfinals, 1-0. Cheshire has been a strong team for a number of years now, and I'm sure the Waves wants to get rid of that loss from last year. They had a tough loss against Wilton in the semifinals in last year's state tournament. So, I mean, it should be a good one. You're talking about a team that plays a deep schedule in Darien against a team, Glastonbury, who's undefeated and just been racking up goals. And they did give up 2 in that first round against Simsbury and won 3-2. So we'll see if Darien can kind of duplicate what Simsbury did and maybe try to keep Glastonbury off the board.
You look over at this other semifinal matchup. It's Enfield taking on FCAC opponent Staples. What do you like about Staples, and what about their chances against this very good Enfield team?
Well, I think Staples is actually, that Staples kind of came into the season as almost like a dark horse in the FCAC because you had the usual suspects like Wilton and Staples, or Wilton and Darien kind of at the top. But Staples is really, they've emerged, and they're making a really strong bid for a state championship here. I really like their chances against Enfield, even though Enfield is not again, there's no pushover. I do like their chances here. I think they really got a monkey off their back when they beat Wilton at 3-1 in the quarterfinals after losing that heartbreaker on a penalty stroke in the FCAC final to the Warriors. And when you think about it, they've got almost 200 minutes versus Wilton and allowed just 2 goals this year, and one of them was on a penalty stroke. I mean, that's just an incredible stat when you really think about how good Wilton's been over the years. Enfield has already knocked off one FCAC team. They beat Norwalk in the quarterfinals 2-1. I just don't think that the Eagles' schedule is as deep as Staples. They've been winning. They only have the 1 loss to Glastonbury, who's the number 1 seed. But I do like Staples a lot in this game.
Let's shift over to Class M, Dave. You'll be up in Trumbull tonight to see number 7 New Canaan. We talked about it yesterday. That's a deceptive number 7 seed when you think about how they had to come out of the FCAC A lot of turnover from last year's roster. They've got a new coach as well. But the Rams have been rolling throughout this tournament. Can number 3 Brantford really keep up with New Canaan tonight?
Yeah, they interesting enough, they do have one common opponent here, so you have something to look at there, and that's that they both played Cheshire. Brantford played them twice, split, beat them 1-0 and lost 2-0, and New Canaan tied Cheshire 1-1. So I guess, and when you look at it that way, it's kind of a wash. But yeah, New Canaan right now, if you look at New Canaan's losses, they have 5 losses this year. But you look at the quality of the teams they've lost to. They lost to Norwalk twice. They lost to Darien and Staples, and they lost to Wilton. And you know, two of those 4 teams are still kicking in the States. So, you know, I just feel like that in this case, even more so than in Class M or Class L, that strength of schedule for New Canaan is going to come into play here. I really think the same thing is starting to happen for New Canaan that happened last year when they won the state championship for the first time since 2003. I really think they're just on a roll right now. If there's one thing to watch in this game is that the Rams sometimes have trouble getting that first goal. They really sometimes they I don't know if they're trying too hard, they're pushing too hard, but you know, once they get that first goal and loosen up a little bit, that's what's happened so far. At least against Bethel, that happened. It took a little time to score that first goal, and once they got it, it was no problem after that. Because they do have weapons with like Mariana Ferreira and Cameron Dayton, Ellery Barron, people like that. And it seems like once they score that first goal, the floodgates open. So that's something to watch. If Brantford can hold them off for a while, you know, this may turn into a game, or even if Brantford could score that first goal. New Canaan gets that first goal, especially if they get it early, this could be turned into another like 3-0 game like they've had so far.
On the other side of that bracket, they stack up against those 2 teams, and who do you like early on in that 4-8 matchup?
You know, I saw New Canaan matched up with Laurelton Hall last year in the state semifinals. They played over at Weston High School, neutral site. I really liked what I saw from Laurelton Hall, and they do have some players back from that team. So that number 8 seed is like New Canaan's number 7 seed is kind of deceptive. Last year, that went deep into the game, and it was 0-0 until I believe, if my memory serves me correct, Tigger Nesbitt scored a goal, and then Ferreira added a second goal like just a couple minutes later, and that kind of ended it. But that was a scoreless game for a long, long time, and Laurelton Hall is playing some good field hockey right now. They haven't allowed a goal in the States yet, like New Canaan, and they knocked off Joe Barlow, who was the number 1 seed, and that's another good team. So I like Laurelton Hall to get by Guilford, and that would be a great final matchup, seeing that they know each other from last year.
It would be a lot of fun. Coming on with us today as we wrap up. Enjoy the game tonight. It should be a perfect night for field hockey playoffs. So thanks again for coming on, Dave.
Hey, no problem. It's been fun. Thank you.
So that covers all of our state games for tonight, Kevin. Of course, you've got girls soccer, volleyball, and field hockey all in action. Let's go small-time local, though, for a minute. We go to Trumbull Pop Warner. The Trumbull Pop Warner Junior Rangers Division II team successfully defended its state championship this past weekend with an exciting 8-6 victory over the Fairfield Giants. This was a rematch from last year between the 2 teams, and once again, it was a hard-fought battle to the end. Trumbull took the opening drive, scored with a 15-yard touchdown run by Ray Leonza. Jack Wallace converted on the PAT, putting up Trumbull 8-0. Fairfield scored late in the 3rd quarter, but the PAT was blocked, and Trumbull went on for an 8-6 win. With that win, Trumbull advances to the New England Regional Semifinals in Cranston, Rhode Island, at Cranston Stadium this Saturday at 12:30 against Warwick. Congratulations to the Trumbull Junior Rangers. That's big news. Great to see a small-town local team having success, making it to the regional level. Of course, we had the Fairfield youth teams we were following through baseball this summer. So a lot of fun, and congratulations to those little guys.
Yeah, big congratulations to the little guys there. That's a very cool moment for them. It's a moment that they won't forget, and they'll have a great showdown up there in Cranston, Rhode Island. That's going to be a great weekend for them.
Of course, if you have any local youth sports stories you'd like to share with us here on Nutmeg Sports, feel free to send them to us at HAN.network on Twitter or at Nutmeg Sports on Twitter. we're more than happy to give them the coverage. Kevin, I am heading off to Michigan for the weekend. You are filling in tomorrow. We're hoping to have Coach Anthony Howard, and of course, you will have wrap-up of all the state games that take place this afternoon.
Oh, man, I'm just so excited to see how all these games match up, and of course, you got Saturday, the big boys final. I am so amped up for that game. I'm definitely going. I'm just waiting to find out where it is, but like we said, we've seen so many great teams this year. It's been a fun fall season, Frank, and it's sad that it's wrapping up in a way.
And I got a good feeling we're going to see a soccer-heavy show tomorrow as well. Sad that it's wrapping up, but so exciting for all these championship teams. And, of course, we've got a big couple of weeks of football coming up to finish off the entire fall season. For Kevin Coleman, I'm Frank Granito. We'll see you tomorrow. Coffee break at 11 with Kate. The Yankee Fisherman, John Kovach at 1. And, of course, Nutmeg Sports at 2 o'clock, all here on the HAN Network.